welcome to AHS Countdown. I'm your host, Reese Kinder, joined by my co-host, James Tippins. James, big matchup tonight between Auburn and Vestavia Hills. How you feeling?
Yeah, you said it, Reese. Playoff time in Alabama is upon us, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and last week, Auburn got a big win against the Dothan Wolves, 39-26. Backup quarterback J.D. Pate had to come in the game for Casey Myers. Casey Myers went down with an injury in the first half, so J.D. Pate stepped up big, 200 yards passing with 3 touchdown passes. Got the Tigers the win when he came in late in that game, like I mentioned. And then the Vestavia Hills Rebels last week won against the Hoover Buccaneers. They actually play this Friday against Montgomery Catholic, and that will finish out their regular season. But we already know who they play in the first round playoff game. It is the Auburn Tigers here at Duck Sanford Stadium. And now we're going to move into our game breakdown. We're going to start with strengths for tonight's matchup. And James, what are your strengths for Auburn and Vestavia Hills?
Yeah, for Auburn tonight, it's the defense. You know, it's been the defense all season. Scott Goolsby's got a squad in this Auburn defense, and they've really not allowed any big-time plays, let up any big-time plays for this defense. They've really played great all season, and so the defense not allowing big plays is my strength for Auburn tonight. And the Vestavia, it's the ground game. You know, they're really good at running the ball. They've got Charlie Taffy back there. He averages 90 yards on the ground per game in their quarterback, and you know, they really run that offense well with the run game, just pummeling the defense with that run game. So that defense of Auburn going up against that really dynamic Vestavia run game is the matchup to watch tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like we really have seen strong run games come into Duck Sanford Stadium, and even on the road we've seen strong run games, but this Auburn defense is just resilient, and they're able to stop these big run games and these running backs from getting huge carries. The only struggle they really had was the Carver game. Zion Crumpton was able to run for some big plays at the end of the first half there, but after that, this Auburn defense really has stepped up in a big way, and I'm excited to see them for this first-round playoff game. But we're going to go now to our weaknesses. My weakness, it's getting the run game going. You know, Auburn has not been able to run the ball efficiently this season. We haven't really seen much of the running backs, Jalen Huff and J.J. King this season, and I would like to see him more in this first-round playoff game, maybe a confuse that defense for Vestavia Hills, keep them honest, but who knows what this offense has in store for Auburn coming in this game. And then Auburn's weakness is an elusive quarterback like a Zion Crumpton or a Bobby Coleman that we've seen that can run the ball efficiently against an Auburn defense, because Auburn's defensive line has some big guys over there, and they're not going to be able to catch a guy like Zion Crumpton or Bobby Coleman. If Vestavia Hills has a fast quarterback, then it's going to be a struggle for the Rebels tonight. But we're going to move now to our key players. And, James, what player stands out to you tonight?
Yeah, it's running back J.J. King. He had 170 all-purpose yards last game, catching 97 and running for 74 of them. Yeah, so J.J. King really just he's a threat in the passing game and the running game. You know, J.D. Pate stepped up last game, was able to deliver the ball downfield to J.J. King multiple times. But, yeah, he's just that threat on offense for Auburn. J.J. King is the key player.
Yeah, and like you said, J.J. King this season has been able to be technically a receiver, one of those fifth options, you know, a safe route for quarterback Casey Myers. And tonight, I mean, looking forward to seeing if J.J. King can get it done against the Rebels and maybe get a touchdown and maybe even run the ball efficiently, like I said in my weaknesses earlier. But we're going to move now to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we will have the player spotlight with James Tippins.
Play hard, play to win. But when sports injuries occur, you can rely on Encore. Our professional team treats all types of sports-related injuries for athletes of all ages. Our licensed therapists work closely with the patient, your family, and physician to get you back into action quickly and safely. At Encore, we love to see you move. Log on to EncoreRehab.com for a location near you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to HS Countdown. We're going to move now to our player spotlight segment. And, James, what player is on your spotlight tonight?
Yeah, tonight it's Carnell Jackson, you know, the senior leader up front, big man up front. He had a touchdown last week as a senior. You know, he's our big defensive lineman up front, has been that leader all season. But, yeah, I just had to give him a shout out there with a big rushing touchdown to finish off his high school career. But, yeah, hoping to carry that in the playoffs. But Carnell Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen too, like these big linemen now getting action at running back for Auburn. We've seen Colin King and Carnell Jackson both be back there, and even Greg Williams back there on the offensive side of things, and they all play defense. So be looking forward tonight to seeing if this Auburn team can, you know, use that package at the goal line and get a big guy like Carnell Jackson or Colin King in there to score. But we're going to move now to our region standings in Central. Currently still leads the region as the 1 seed. Auburn is the 2. Opelika slides up to the 3rd spot after defeating Carver last week 24-14. at Opelika. And then, like I said, Carver moves back to the 4th spot. And then Dothan stays in 5th place. Enterprise is in 6th. And then Smith Station goes to the 7th spot. And then Jag is at the 8th spot. So the region's shaping up really good to finish off the season. Few teams still have a game this week, but Auburn obviously has a bye, Central has a bye, Carver has a bye, and Opelika has a bye. So those top teams will not play this week going into the playoffs. So some big matchups, though, coming up in 2 weeks for those playoff matchups. And Auburn, one of them against Vestavia Hills. So really interested to see what will happen there. But, folks, we are now going to move to a quick commercial break, but don't go away because when we come back, we'll have game picks.
When I was getting ready to retire, I had to have somewhere to look for some health insurance. So I ran into an old classmate of mine at Hardee's one morning, and he happened to be driving for Auburn City Schools. So we got to talking. He was telling me about the benefits, and it's a great opportunity because we leave here a couple of hours every morning, a couple of hours in the afternoon. We got from probably 8:30 to 2:30. Go play golf, work in the yard, do whatever you want to do. You're not going to work on the weekends. You're not going to work on holidays. You got all summer. So that's great.
Okay, if somebody's considering driving a school bus, I would say do it. There are so many opportunities for different people, different walks of life, different roles, no matter what situation you're in for being a bus driver. There are spaces for those who own their own business and can make their own hours. This is a fantastic opportunity for that. For those stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads that don't necessarily want to be gone from the house all day but can do a morning and an afternoon shift, that is fantastic schedule.
But I know they're paying on Mr. Lewis to take them to school. So I try to get there on time, every day, and show up every day. And that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I love kids. I love people. I like tiny people.
Best part be the school bus driver. Again, you help these kids get education. You help these kids go to the school. And you help these kids go back to home. This is, in my opinion, the best part.
My favorite things are the handwritten notes, hands down. Even if the parents are making them do it, they usually think about, what you mean to them and what impact that you've made on them.
We need bus drivers. We love to have bus drivers. We need drivers every day.
It's all about the kids. They're the ones that's special, honestly. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here. And they can't get rid of me, But I'm not letting those 70 kids that are counting on me to get to school, I'm not letting them down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AHS Countdown. We're going to start now with our game picks. Obviously, we're going to start with the standings first. Chair's 13-5. I'm 27-8. James, you were 33-8. We both missed a pick last week, but we're going to get started now. Our first game up is the Prattville Lions, who are 5-4, versus the Jaguars, who are 1-8. James, who you have between Prattville and Jag?
Yeah, Jag really hasn't shown me anything this season to say I could believe in him, so I think I'm going to go with Prattville on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you here. Prattville lost close to Thompson last week, 29-15, but the Lions are going to be able to bounce back and improve to 6-4 on the season, and Jag's going to fall to 1-9 on the season. Another bad year for the Jaguars. So Prattville will get this win hopefully on Friday night, but interested to see what happens in that one. And then our last game on the picks is Auburn, who is 8-2, versus Vestavia Hills, who is 7-2. Vestavia Hills has a game this week against Montgomery Catholic. James, who do you have between Auburn and Vestavia Hills?
Yeah, we saw Vestavia earlier. They got the better end of us on that game, but they dominate on both sides of the ball. Coach Nick Saban says it's hard to beat a good team twice, so I think Auburn's really going to harp on that this week. Get their get-back game and get a big win and advance in the playoffs and send Vestavia home. Yeah, and Auburn, like you mentioned, we faced Vestavia Hills early on in the year. It was a bad game, but the Auburn team, I feel like, has gotten momentum ever since then, and they've been riding that into this playoffs, and they're ready for a Vestavia Hills team who's gotten off
to a hot start this season and just continue that momentum into the playoffs as well. So this should be a great game between Auburn and Vestavia Hills, who both are powerhouses in 7A. But I'm going to pick Auburn in this one. But now we're going to move to our keys to the game. And James, what is your key to the game for Auburn tonight?
Yeah, for Auburn is to protect the quarterback. You know, we saw Vestavia earlier, and really what struggled was Casey Myers. You know, Casey Myers had people in his face, it felt like all the time when he dropped back to pass in the pocket. He was pressured. This offensive line has grown since that game, I feel like, really have gotten better. So if we can protect Casey Myers tonight and give him the ability to sit back in the pocket, read the defense, get it to his big playmakers downfield, I think it'll set Auburn up for success and maybe a win.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned the fact about the offensive line's been good since then. The pressure rating, the worst pressure rating was 87% against Vestavia Hills, and this past week against Dothan, the pressure rating was 96% for the offensive line. So a big improvement from week 2 Auburn has done, and it's just a great job from this offensive line getting together, regrouping, and being able to figure things out. And going in the playoffs, I really have trust in this offensive line for Auburn. But my key to the game for Vestavia Hills is you got to put pressure on a QB like Casey Myers. They did that week 2. Auburn got flustered. Casey Myers threw some interceptions. If Vestavia Hills does that tonight, they can get another big win against the Auburn Tigers, but we'll just have to see. But, folks, that is going to do it for AHS Countdown. We hope you enjoy this matchup between Auburn and Vestavia Hills.